Hello everyone, my name is Cameron. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing the Extreme Rules 2020 predictions. I'm not going to call it the horror show at Extreme Rules because I'm not a fucking dweeb like WWE. No, it's just going to be the Extreme Rules 2020. That's all it is to me. It's not the horror show at Extreme Rules. It's just Extreme Rules. I do have it written as Extreme Rules, the horror show, on my thing, but that's because I kind of wanted the tagline in there. Just because I kind of like the tagline, not going to lie. It's not the worst tagline they've come up with, but it's not the best. So, before we get into this, I do want to mention there was another match that was initially scheduled for this card. And I know it was initially scheduled for this card because when I first looked the card up a couple weeks ago when this match got announced, it was on the card. Like, it was on the card for the pay-per-view. And then, out of the blue, when me and Jesse were watching this week's SmackDown, if you guys watch this week's SmackDown, you know what I'm talking about. Sheamus says, "See you next week. See you next Friday, fella," to Jeff Hardy, which is like, wasn't this supposed to be at the pay-per-view? Like, I remember this being announced for the pay-per-view. I remember this being on the pay-per-view. Like, I had it scheduled on my pay-per-view predictions thing. Like, it was on there. Everything had said it was going to be at the pay-per-view, and then they changed it for some reason. I don't know why they decided to change it. Maybe because they needed something more for SmackDown next week, or maybe because they didn't have the time to film the match in time for the pay-per-view. I don't really know, because I heard it was supposed to be a cinematic one. Who knows? I guess we'll see next Friday what the hell reason it had for not being on the pay-per-view, because it should be on the pay-per-view. It's a great fucking match to put on the pay-per-view, but whatever. So we're going to start with the to-be-decided stipulation WWE Championship match between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. Both Jesse and myself have gone for Drew McIntyre. Yeah, at some point somebody's going to take the title off McIntyre, but it's not going to be Ziggler, and it's not going to be here. I don't know what the match... Neither of us has an idea of what the match is going to be. It could be literally anything, and we're stuck trying to think of what it could be, and like, nothing in our brains is like clicking. Like, every time we thought about, okay, what could this match be, it just doesn't fit. It could be an Extreme Rules match. It could be a generic Extreme Rules match. It could be an I Quit match. It could be any number of matches. The problem is there's so many different match types it could end up being. It just makes it so difficult to figure out what it's going to be. It could, I swear to God, if it ends up being made a handicap match, and this is how Robert Roode gets brought back, and they do a handicap match, that's going to be a stupid fucking idea. I hate the fact when they say the challenger gets to pick the stipulation and they choose a fucking handicap match. That should not be an option. It should be singles matches only. I hate when they do the handicap match thing. It's so fucking stupid. Because either A, you have a dominant champion who looks like a fucking chump because he gets beaten, or who is made to look weak, but also still kind of strong because it took two people to beat him. Or B, you have two fucking great talent who look like a bunch of fucking pussies because they couldn't even beat a dude in a 2-on-1 fight. Or, so at that point, you at least get a huge fucking... So here's the problem with handicap matches for titles. This is the problem I've always had. Either A, you have dominant champion who looks fucking super strong, but two talent are used poorly and look fucking retarded because of this. See Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison at the last pay-per-view, if you need any fucking example of that. Or B, you have fucking stupid-looking champion because he let his challenger pick a stipulation, they ended up choosing a handicap match, and very fucking weak competitors who just now won the title because they had to do a 2-on-1 fight and they couldn't beat the guy on their own. It doesn't work properly for title matches. Yes, if it's set up as a handicap match beforehand, it's fine. But if it's set as a handicap match because the challenger gets to pick the stipulation, it means the challenger knows they're going to get their ass whooped by themselves. WWE, please, for the love of Christ, do not do this as a fucking handicap match. Not that I love seeing Robert Roode back. I miss the fucking mustache. I miss that mustache. But this would be the stupidest fucking thing you guys could ever do, because it's going to either A, make Drew look like a weak little bitch or super fucking strong, or B, it's going to make fucking, well, A, it's either going to make Drew look like a little bitch and make both of them look like little bitches in the process because they're going to have both of them to beat Drew, or B, it's going to make Drew look super fucking tough and you're going to make a joke out of two more of your superstars, which you already fucking did at the last pay-per-view to The Miz and John Morrison, who are still not fucking fully recovered from it. You're still beating into them the fact that they're fucking jobbers. Like, What the fuck did John Morrison come back to WWE for? He's literally being treated like shit here. For good money, I guess? Like, did you watch SmackDown? He got squashed by Braun Strowman on SmackDown this past Friday. That's what happened to John Morrison on SmackDown. He got squashed by Braun Strowman and said he was freaking terrified of facing Braun Strowman. Why, WWE? Why do you do stupid booking things? Not even going to mention Hell in a Cell. Just not going to talk about that. Let's continue on. Then we have the Raw Women's Championship match. We have Asuka versus Sasha Banks. We've both gone for Asuka. A really stupid moment happened on SmackDown this past week, or Friday, where Asuka was revealed as Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss's guest for a moment of bliss. And Sasha and Bayley were like, this isn't even, go back to your show. This is our show. I'm like, bitches, you're literally on every fucking show every goddamn week. How the fuck do you think we feel? This is how we feel every time we see your fucking ugly mugs pop up on... That's not fair. They're both very beautiful women. This is exactly how we feel when we have to hear your annoying voices every fucking day. Every fucking Raw, every fucking NXT, every fucking SmackDown, it's Bayley and Sasha fucking yakking on and on and on and on. And let me just say, I'm a huge fan of Bayley. Don't really like Sasha all that much, but I'm a huge fan of Bayley. But my God, have they fucking destroyed her character. Her character is now just a whiny little brat 90% of the time. And goddamn, Sasha... Oh, I can't wait for this feud to be over. Like, I can't wait for it to turn into Sasha turning on Bayley. I'm so fucking excited for it. I really hope this is where it kicks off. Sasha loses her match. Bayley is probably going to win hers. And then they lose the tag titles before SummerSlam. And at SummerSlam, Sasha turns. That's the goal. That's the hope. Will WWE pull the trigger and finally fucking do it? Probably not. Going on to the SmackDown Women's Championship match, I kind of just gave away me and Jesse's predictions. We've both predicted Bayley. Not that we wouldn't absolutely love Nikki Cross as champion, because goddamn Nikki Cross is a fucking treasure. If you watch SmackDown on Friday, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. My God, that woman is fucking hilarious. I think Nikki Cross is probably one of my favorite superstars right now, and yeah, it makes me so happy that she's getting shots at the title, even if she's probably not going to win this shot title just because, again, it's setting up most likely for Sasha and Bayley to have a feud. Unless something happens to Sasha and or Bayley during this pay-per-view, I do not see Nikki Cross winning this match, which is a travesty. Then again, back at NXT TakeOver in Your House, me and Jesse did not expect fucking Io Shirai to walk away with the championship, and, well, she did, so who knows? Anything can happen in WWE. Sometimes what you least expect ends up happening. Next, we are on to the Wyatt Swamp Fight match between Braun Strowman, the person that me and Jesse probably hate the most in WWE right now. I don't know. Corbin's high up there. I don't know. Versus the one, the only Bray Wyatt. God damn, this match better be fucking good. I'm so in it for the cinematic matches, and I can't wait to see more of them. I love the cinematic matches. I know a lot of people are like, oh, get me back to wrestling as usual. I love wrestling as usual. I love the normal wrestling stuff. I do, but cinematic matches, man, in 2020 are so fucking good. Look at the Boneyard match. Look at the Firefly Funhouse match for Mania. Both of those matches were magnifique, and I cannot wait for the fucking Wyatt Swamp Fight. I am expecting an all-out chaotic brawl, complete with mud and nasty water and alligators and crocodiles and so much fucking insane shit in this match. I can't wait to watch Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman try to kill each other. And with that, our prediction, both going for Bray Wyatt. Now, we actually predicted this to be kind of the way it would go for the Bray Wyatt Braun Strowman feud. We didn't exactly predict this. So me and Jesse's initial prediction was that Bray would lose as the Mr. Rogers Bray Wyatt. He would probably take Backlash off. He would pop up at Extreme Rules as The Fiend, attack Braun Strowman while Braun Strowman was in a different match with somebody else. Or, well, post-match, he'd attack Braun Strowman after Extreme Rules, setting up for them to face at SummerSlam, where Bray, as The Fiend, would most likely reclaim the Universal title 1 whole year after his initial debut against Finn Balor at 2019 SummerSlam. However, we didn't even think of them bringing back the original cult leader Bray Wyatt character, even though they did kind of bring him back in the Firefly Funhouse match, so I guess we should have expected this. I don't know how we didn't think of this at all, but I like this idea. This isn't for the title, by the way, for anyone wondering. This is just a singles match, very fucking weird singles match at the Wyatt compound. I personally am probably the most excited for this match. Like, not gonna lie, I'm fucking ecstatic for this match. This match is probably gonna be fucking awesome. It's gonna be crazy. And there's probably gonna be a lot of 2K Battlegrounds fucking hype, like, ad promo type shit during the talking by Cole and them afterwards. Which is gonna suck because it's like, dude, don't pull me out of the amazingness that was that match. Because in one of the promos, you have someone being fed to you have, I think, The Rock feeding John Cena to an alligator. Do not fucking ruin what is going to happen in this match by talking about that afterwards, because I swear to God, it will make me hate Michael Cole so much fucking more than I already do. Which, for those of you who are wondering, why do I hate Michael Cole so much? Go watch his commentary. You'll start to understand why I hate Michael Cole. And then go watch the commentary that he does on the WWE 2K games, and you'll really understand why I hate Michael Cole. Next, on to the United States Championship match, we have Apollo Crews versus MVP, and much to our chagrin, we have both gone for Apollo Crews to win this match. Neither of us really likes Apollo. He's very boring on the mic. Let me just start this off by saying, Apollo has such a great look. He looks like such a great fucking wrestler. Like, he's got that look. He's got that muscly look. He's got the fucking athleticism for a dude his size. It's insane. It's awesome. But when he gets on the mic, bores the fuck out of me, man. And the same problem with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. They're all very fucking talented in-ring wrestlers. All of them have no charisma. At all. They're all fucking boring. They're so bland, and it's such a pain in the ass. Because you see all these great guys who are really athletic and have a lot of skill in the ring, but they don't have mic skill. They don't have the charisma to work on the mic as well as they should, and it's such pain in the ass. It really fucking is. And Bobby Lashley had the same issue, but now he has MVP. All we need is Apollo, Cedric, and Ricochet to have a fucking mouthpiece. Just give them someone to talk for them, so we don't have to hear them talk. Apollo, after he won the United States Championship, actually did a really good promo. He cut a really good promo. And then it dragged on too long. And it got boring, and it got annoying, and it was like, dude, shut the fuck up already. Because you had us with the first, like, he had us in the first half, not gonna lie. The second half of it just was too long. It went a little too long. But it was so good at the start. And then just started going too long. It was like, okay, shut up now. Don't talk anymore. We're good. You did good on the promo, and then you kept it going. Don't do that. You did good. Stop when you're ahead, man. Next, on to the match I am the least excited for, which, given the talent in this match, is kind of surprising, but we have the eye for an eye match between Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. Now, for those of you wondering why exactly I'm not excited for this match, I'm going to give you the exact way this match has to end. The match can only be won when one competitor extracts an eye of their opponent. Look, I'm all for the cinematic matches, which I've heard this is supposed to be another one of the cinematic matches on the show. But how the fuck are they going to justify this? Like, how are they going to explain this away if Seth... Because we've both predicted Rey. We both predicted Rey Mysterio to win this. Although we've both also taken the full acceptance that Rey could lose this match, and that could be the end of his WWE career. He loses his match in an eye with Seth Rollins, as Rey's contract is currently up. He is not working as a contracted WWE superstar. He's working free of contract, just kind of finishing up his feud, it seems. And then I guess he'll decide if he wants to continue his contract after. I'm not entirely sure, but I guess we'll see. The problem is, if Seth loses this match, they've backed themselves into a corner. Like, you have to have some fucking finish that's not going to have somebody's eye actually be pulled out of their fucking socket, because that's not going to work, man. Like, you just can't have that work, and they've fucked themselves on this so bad. And I'm like, dude, WWE, what the fuck are you planning with this shit? That you've had the stipulation for this match to be one of them has to gouge the other's eye out. Like, I'm all for weird shit in wrestling. I am, but this... I can't explain this. And finally, on to the last match with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Tables match. We have the New Day versus Cesaro and Nakamura. Me and Jesse have both gone for Cesaro and Nakamura. Now, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love the New Day. I do. But there's something about them being champions with one of their guys missing that I just don't like. Like, I love the New Day. I do. The shit they do where they throw their coats at Corey, fucking hilarious. A lot of their stuff is fucking hilarious and it's really good, but it's better when it's all three of them. The other problem I have is they're now 8-time tag team champions. 8-time. 8 fucking times. Most of those within the last 2 or 3 years. Look, you guys have the longest tag title reign in WWE history. You do not also need the most tag title reigns in WWE history. The problem I have is the SmackDown tag title feud was for so long, and still kind of is, the New Day and the Usos. That's it. That's it, fam. Nobody else. Just the New Day and the Usos. That was pretty much the tag title feud, or the tag title scene on SmackDown for a long time. And you have greatly talented wrestlers on there that can form a fucking phenomenal tag team division. You have the fucking, I fucking forgot their name. The Forgotten Sons. Isn't that fucking ironic? The Forgotten Sons. You have the Forgotten Sons over there. 3 amazingly talented guys who literally don't want to be forgotten, and you're not even fucking using them. They haven't been on TV since, like, pre-Backlash, I think? Maybe earlier? I can't fully remember. You have The Miz and John Morrison, who got completely cucked on their fucking tag title reign. Don't fucking act like they didn't. You have the Lucha House Party. Yeah, I know they're a bit of a joke tag team, but the matches they've actually had the past few, like, when they've actually given a shit and tried, holy fucking hell, can the Lucha House Party fucking entertain. That Elimination Chamber match, go back and watch it if you haven't watched the Elimination Chamber match from earlier this year for the tag titles on SmackDown, because my fucking God, was it awesome. I loved that match. It was probably one of my favorite matches from that card. But you have these great tag teams, and Cesaro and Nakamura. You have these great tag teams that you can very well use for so much shit, but you're literally relying on the same fucking 2 tag teams over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's gonna get us tired of them. That's why I stopped enjoying the New Day as much as I did. I love the New Day. There was a time when I hated the New Day, and as their feud with the Usos was going, I started to like the New Day. But now, the New Day are shoved down our throats more than Charlotte Flair, more than fucking Brock Lesnar, more than Braun Strowman, more than Roman Reigns, and I'm fucking tired of it. Give me somebody different holding the tag titles for once. Like, for fuck's sake, man, give it to the Forgotten Sons. They fucking deserve it. Especially considering how NXT tag teams have been treated going up to the main roster before. The 2 best tag teams that came up from there are the Street Profits, the 2 best treated tag teams that came up from there are the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. You want to know the other tag teams that got fucking the short end of the stick when they got brought up? AOP, who were fucking dominant as hell in NXT and got fuck all on the main roster pretty much. They were pretty good for a while there, and then they joined Seth Rollins' stable, and one of them went down with an injury, and we haven't seen either of them since, because that's how it normally goes with injuries. And that was pre-Mania when that happened, so, April. It's been like 3 months since we saw them. Not fun, man. Then you have the Ascension, who were one of the greatest tag teams in NXT history, and they got completely fucking shafted. You have so many great tag teams that go through WWE, and you see them just get shit and more fucking shit. And you wonder why WWE's tag team division is hated so much. And the other problem I have, and Leah Rush mentioned this on Twitter, was talking about black people in WWE becoming champions because of what's going on. I mean, yeah, they deserve it. The tag team, the people that have the championships deserve it. But I mean, is he wrong? Like, you have the New Day, the Street Profits, Keith Lee, Sasha Banks is one half of the women's tag team champions. Like, is he wrong? Give Keith Lee as a double champ in NXT. Not that he doesn't deserve it. Keith Lee deserves the hell out of that, but, like, I kind of got to agree with Leo on this. He may not have went about it the best way, and he even called out Finn Balor on Twitter for some fucking reason. But, like, I kind of got to agree with him on that. Like, he's not wrong. And now, I know I'm going off on a tangent. So I'm going to talk about another thing that's been going on in the wrestling world in a separate video. If you guys have been on Twitter, you kind of probably seen the hashtag about Naomi. I'll be talking about that in a video that'll be going out a little bit after after this one. So yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Wow, we're having Crest in my favorite role. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what your so what I'm looking for. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay golden. Peace.